Guys, welcome to Lockhill Trading, and it's Friday, and it's the third Friday that I have been looking for a particular setup to play out, which is the Friday system or the Friday setup. And the previous two, if you look back at those videos, if you haven't already, will give you an understanding of what I will be looking for here and how to go about trading that system. I'll go into a little bit more detail inside the free Lockhill trading server, so if you're not in there, guys, feel free to jump in. And also, if you enjoy the video, remember to like and subscribe. So we're looking at the monthly time frame here, and as you can see, this month or this week, we are trading at a new all-time high in the equity space. So I'm marking July open here, which is essentially the weekly open. So if I go up to the weekly, you'll see it's the same data point. So this week was the beginning of July, but also, of course, the beginning of the week. So that is essentially the weekly open level. So I will just map that in as well, because that's what we have to mark in when it comes to our Friday system. So we're seeing, where is the weekly open? So we come to Friday, and we're going to drop into the hourly time frame now. Now, as you can see, we have clearly been trading higher, which is a criteria that needs to be met to look for the Friday system to play out, which is what? The first point I want to ask is, one-sided price delivery. And that is indeed the case here. We have been simply trading up all week, other than kind of like this little bit of a consolidation Monday into early Tuesday before we started to really aggressively price higher and ultimately trade to a new all-time high. This was the previous one, which was June high. And as you can see, I'll do this in grey, slightly bigger. We traded back into that level yesterday, which was actually Independence Day, which was a bank holiday, so you get this really kind of rubbish price action. But we traded into that level, and notice how we traded higher. So all week long, we've traded to the upside. So one-sided price delivery, that is what we want to look for when looking for our Friday system, where we're essentially doing what? We're trying to predict the high or the low, and therefore trying to catch a retracement back inside to the 20 to 30% region, which our fib has outlined here for us. So we're looking for this green zone here to be traded to. Let me just move the magnet tool, get this nice and accurate. So around this region here is where we would like to, if we are to get in a short, I'm not saying we will, but if we are to get into a short, that's where we would look to target. But as you can see now, across the board, we would be looking for a short against the high time frame order flow. You can see that on the monthly time frame, we're going up. The weekly, just an alert, the weekly, we're trading higher. The daily, of course, we're trading higher. So all the time frames, you are best, or the bulls, the longs, are positioned in a favourable position here in all time frames. So when we are looking for a retracement short, we really have to realise that it is low probability because we're trading against the higher time frame order flow, so we need to reduce risk, which is why I'm looking at micro NQ here and not the mini. So quite quickly there, we established straight away that although we've had one-sided price delivery, we are trading, if we are to get short against high time frame order flow, and this obviously reduces the chance of it becoming, well, a high probability trade. Also, there is no real high time frame level in play because so essentially we are in price discovery. I don't really like to trade in price discovery, if I'm honest, but we're here. We're going to be here every Friday. I will be doing some live streams as well, guys, once I sort out my OBS to do this live. So obviously at the minute I'm recording, then I'm uploading later on. But as you can see, the market is open. This is a live data feed. The time is 11:12:20 New York time, which means 5 hours ahead. It is 12 minutes past 4 UK time. So this means, all of this means that it's low probability conditions. So if we are to trade we must reduce risk. Now obviously this is just relation to this specific model or this specific system. Now as you see, we've got to create a new all-time high, and therefore we're moving up our little green zone. So we're going to drop into the 15-minute time frame now. Let's get this nice and accurate. And essentially I'm waiting for something in price, which we're not seeing at the moment, to potentially open up a chance to get short. Like I say, it's not a great environment. And one of the reasons it's not great as well, in terms of intraday, is today was NFP, which was this wick here. So the reason I've not come to the desk this morning, and I'm waiting for kind of this later period, is because we had NFP, which is a high impact news driver. And you can see before the 8:30, look how we had this really small candles, very little flow in the market. And as soon as it opened, we get these huge wicks to the upside. If we go to the 1 minute time frame, look at that there. We see that candle is huge in terms of its wick. Not huge actually in terms of NFP, but it's still a lot bigger than what you've seen to the left hand side prior to NFP. So anybody who was short from like this high, this high, this high got taken out. Anybody that was long was also taken out by this wick if their stop was quite aggressive and quite high in the move. So I always like to trade after NFP if I am going to trade. Now I don't like trading it at all, to be honest, because it's Friday and I want to keep up with the Friday content here for you guys. I'm just here and seeing what price is going to do, but at the moment it looks like price just wants to keep trading higher, higher, higher. So it may take some time. It may be the PM session that we get into a potential short if we are to. And I must reiterate that it's against the order flow, and therefore it is higher risk trying to trade a short here. So we may not get into a trade, and that is absolutely fine too. So what I'm doing here by teaching live trading and live price action is I'm kind of viscerally relaying my experience of what I am seeing, and hope that really helps you. None of this is hindsight. It's in the moment. It's on the fly. And I think that's really what's going to help you guys to understand, particularly if you are new to trading, what it takes, the patience, the risk management, and essentially we must see what we want to see in order to get into a trade. One reason as well that this is just going to be Friday that I'm doing this is you do not need to try and start this endeavour and try and trade every single day, every single week even. It may just be a period, like Friday is what I'm showing you here, that you trade, and you maybe look to get a part-time income, a hobby income. You may say, look, you know what, if I can earn an extra few quid over this year trading only 1 day per week, and I'm showing you Friday here because it's aligned with my system, and that is a great place to start. So let's just look at the 5 minute here, and what do we have? I'm also going to map in what the 9:30 open, which is here. So as you can see, we're above the 8:30 and the 9:30 open. So we are, even intraday. Anybody long is on the right side of the marketplace here. And of course that makes sense because the higher time frame order flow is to the upside. So getting short is of higher risk. Let's just see what micro ES is doing. Yeah, it's the same here. I did actually map out ES earlier on actually, if you look. Which is the same. If I go up to the 15 minute, you'll see, look, this is the fib. 8:30, 9:30. I noticed these two lows here. We got very close, look, to the green zone. Well, we're already in the green zone there, if you look. But at that time, the high would have been this high. So the green zone would have been lower. We didn't quite trade into it. So, back to NQ. I like NQ better, and I'll explain why in a moment. Sorry, MNQ. Here we go. So the reason being is 1 minute time frame, we have these very clean lows down here. This low here, if we look to the left of it, it has another low. So if anybody did get long after NFP in like kind of this little spot here, this kind of little range, stops are likely beneath this low, and they're being trailed up probably quite aggressively now. So we are just still waiting for something in price action to tell us that way it's going to turn around. Now, it may not. Now, what I would say is, notice this, guys. This is important to understand. So, let me just take these off. So, if you think about it, this is the end of the week, but it's the first week of the month. So July may actually trade a lot higher. So it doesn't particularly need to retrace today much, because it might close like this. So it may here we go. We've got a little cat in the way. Let me show you a little. Oh, I was going to show you. You know what? Let me just show you little Lennox. Why not, eh? The little mascot. That is Lenny. Here we go. The little mascot. He helps me make trading decisions, don't we? On the fly. We do indeed. Come on. Let's give the viewers. You've got to like and subscribe for this, guys, just for Lennox alone. What do you think? Long or short? Blink if you think long. He's not blinked, so we're definitely going short. Oh, is that a bit of a blink? Right, so let me just let this dude out. There we have it, guys. So, back to it. Yeah, it's low probability conditions, guys, essentially. So, what I'll be doing is I'll be returning to this video. So I'm ready to blow. Anything to suggest get into a short, really. This low to me is pretty suspect. So what I'm saying is there may be a short that comes in to take out this level, but getting all the way down now to the 20 to 30%, I'm not convinced will occur. Just because of how bullish and the order flow is here at new all-time highs, and trying to trade against that is it's suicide, if I'm honest, guys. But it doesn't mean I won't catch a short. Now, essentially, I shouldn't really be going short unless the setup provides itself or shows up. But I do see that low as kind of low-hanging fruit, where kind of any longs that try and chase this new all-time high, they jam the stop here, and it goes and runs that at some point, probably between 12 and 1 o'clock. So I might return for 12 and 1 if we do stay above. If we come down, I may return. But yeah, at the moment, nothing to see really. And even if we don't, guys, I'll be posting this video up. Trading's not about we must trade. It's Friday, so I must trade. We have to wait for our criteria, our rules to play out. We've said about low probability, so therefore we're trading micro, and we'll only be trading with one micro. We're really reducing risk here. Let me have a quick look at the ES. Just get rid of all this noise. Again, not a lot to see. Very choppy. Look at this. This is not, you look at that, guys. It's a barcode. It's not great price action. It really isn't. And because we're the first week of the month, let me try and make sense of that. So when it comes to our weekly, what we're looking for is we have an open, it goes and puts in a low, and for the rest of the week, it trades higher. It gets to Friday, it puts in a high, and then we're looking for it to retrace to the close. Then you have your open, you have your low, you have your high up here, and then price closes here, which should look like this on your fib. And that's what we're looking for. But the fact that this month could be really bullish, it means that actually, rather than this week kind of hit its height and so come up, hit the high, and then retrace, it may just linger around its high. And so it ends up being quite a flat weekly candle. So a flat weekly candle like this. It may close like at this sort of range, this 5602, even if this is the high, rather than having to retrace. Let me go back to MMQ to this zone. But we're having a little bit of movement here. That's good. But again, I think that is just trying to attack this low here. Let's see. I do quite like that snap down from there, I must admit. I'd like us to, on this 2 minute time frame, leave this little tiny gap here. This would be, if this comes in, this would be a scalp short. It wouldn't be built around the Friday system in terms of looking for the 2030 down here. It'd be going to try and trade to this low. So essentially, now I'm not going to trade it because it's not part of the system that I'm showing here, but well, it might not actually come in. Need to wait 38 seconds, yeah. I'd like that gap to stay open, which it hasn't stayed open. So that quickly rules that out for a scalp. Oops. So again, guys, nothing I like too much here. Just assessing the order flow on the lower time frames. Yeah, I just don't see these trading conditions being great even for the rest of the day. So I will return when I start to kind of see some sort of price action which could allow us into the Friday system. But for now, nothing too much. So I'm going to stop here and return shortly. The time is 16:24, 11:24 New York time. I'll probably return at 12. And I'm just returning. And since I've left, price just continue to run higher, higher and higher. Let's remove this. So I don't think trying to go after a short today is wise. So with that in mind, I'm probably going to stop this here. And probably go watch Spain versus Germany in the Euros. Huge football fan. I play semi-pro football. I have been a pro footballer a few years back now. So it's a tough one to miss for, even for you guys learning here. And there's nothing I like in terms of a short. Now I do think if we're going to get a retracement to the downside, it's here. Now what I like about this high that we have here on the fib is a 20 to 30% region now aligned, which I was looking at earlier when I was scanning price. If you noticed, I was moving the fib up to kind of see where the 20 to 30% would be. Now this 20 to 30% incorporates the 8:30 and 9:30 key data points of today. So around this zone is potentially that opportunity to look for a retracement, but I don't actually see us trading all the way down here. It's 12 now, so we may get that retracement. But for me, it is highly risky to go after a short here unless we start to really get some flow to the downside where we can potentially look for a trade short. But even then, do we retrace to the 20%? I am not so sure. Probably not. I think we probably close quite near to wherever the high is made today. Price just looks super bullish after that NFP. So yeah, I'm probably going to put a stop to this Friday. And what I will say is, no trade is still a trade. We've set in cash here. We've preserved and protected our capital in our last 2 weeks of winnings. We don't need to take a loss here unless something sets up later when we're in the PM session. I'll take a look, but without further ado, this is potentially the end, or maybe not, of this Friday. Viva España, Vamos, Spain. Let's hope Spain get the job done versus the Germans, but I'm not sure the experience of Germany may just come in. I can see the main man Gundogan potentially. It's interesting. I've just seen the lineup. Leroy Sané in for Wirtz. So he's gone for experience there. He's gone for quite some pace on that side, which makes sense when you've got Williams, the exciting prospect, on that side. So let's see. But anyway, we've seen a bit of movement here. Let me just say, what I want to see is a move through this little window here, this little zone. Maybe that would offer up some sort of, say we get some like choppy price action. Maybe that would give a short, where then you could look for something like this. But I won't be at the chart. I'll be watching the game. Maybe after the game, if we're still trading higher, and then maybe I'll try and trade the PM session, which is, I like to look for a trade 1:30 till 4 PM New York time, which is 7 till late, and 10 o'clock UK time. So it would be a late Friday session if I was to trade it. But I think we're going to stop there. Just not seeing anything to warrant even trying to go for an aggressive short here. But that's inferior a trade. So I'll leave that up. Why not? We'll come back to it. But it's nothing too major. Another target would be here. So this would kind of be your targets. First one, second one, and then if you get a huge retracement, then what a trade that would be. But I do see us trading probably a higher still. Maybe then eventually to look for a point where we can tack this, because ultimately this first week could end up closing very close to whatever the high it posts. We may even close as a flat body, which would essentially show how bullish today was. So yeah, maybe see you soon. If not, please like and subscribe. If not, just for Lennox and my bit of football knowledge there. So there we have it, guys. Cash is sometimes king. Stay break even on day.